Now let's take you to our major stories. Bishop of the West and coordinating Bishop of Corner, Right Reverend Dr. Felix Orji, calls on the church to be vocal with the truth, just as God has revealed them in the Bible. A member of the Central Planning Committee for the Diocese of Abuja 2021 Way of the Cross, Venerable Kingsley Obo, speaks on the preparations and expectations. Ambassador Macaulay Onyekachikalu, a renowned diplomat, receives award of Distinguished Nigerian Diaspora Leader of the Year 2020. Plus, Aisha Yusuf, a popular Nigerian activist, calls for a march to Aso Villa in demand for the resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari as suspected. 300 schoolgirls from Zamfara Government Secondary School on Friday morning. Well, here are the stories in details. The primate of all Nigeria Anglican Communion, Most Reverend Henry Chukwudumondokoba, has inaugurated a committee of governing body for the Crowder Theological Graduates, Abeokuta, which was constituted at the last Church of Nigeria Standing Committee. Some of the attendees at the ceremony, which held at the St. Matthias House in Gudu, Abuja, are the chairman of the committee, Most Reverend Ali Buba Lamido, Most Reverend David Onoha, Most Reverend Ibrahim Marcos, Bishop Theologian, Right Reverend Professor Dabwa Sajo, Right Reverend Samuel Chowale, and others. While speaking, the primate reminded the committee that the school was set up to address the issue of tribalism in Nigeria.
As you may know, Archbishop Adetiloye established this institution as a language school to address the issues of tribalized church and ministry in the Church of Nigeria, so that our postulants for ordination can serve anywhere in the Church of Nigeria. And as you may know, it was meant to be a place where we will bring all our postulants, so that those who are coming from the Igbo will learn Yoruba and Hausa, and those coming from the Hausa side will learn Igbo and Yoruba, and those from the Yoruba will learn both Hausa and Igbo. The intention was to make this church grow into one, so that you can pick anybody from anywhere and send anywhere.
He also charged them to make sure the vision of the church for the school stands and promised the church its maximum support.
Please, we need this place to stand, and we need you as our fathers and teachers and leaders, both lay and clergy and bishops, to work together on behalf of the bishops, the archbishops and bishops of the Church of Nigeria. I want to assure you that we will stand by you, and as much as the Lord enables us, give you all the necessary resources needed to accomplish the task that is before us. We assure you of our prayers and our cooperation in such a challenging time as this. May this graduate theological seminary stand out.
The chairman of the committee, Most Reverend Ali Buba Lamido, while speaking with Acnn TV, said the committee will work tirelessly round the clock to meet all the demands.
The board will work very hard to raise up the standard of the institution, including the academic performance, spiritual performance, the financial aspect and physical infrastructures of the institutions. And we want to work very hard with a lot of dedication to do all this by the grace of God.
As Christians observe the Lenten period, the Anglican Bishop of Amichi Diocese, the Right Reverend Okechukwu Ifemi Kako, has laid emphasis on the reason why Christians ought to fast during the Lenten period. According to him, the greatest enemy in running the Christian race and doing the will of God is the flesh, saying the Lenten period must be a time to slow down on attention to the flesh, as spiritually, fasting and prayers are inevitable for Christian development, growth and focus.
Yeah, if you really follow the ministry of Jesus and the provision and demand of the Holy Scriptures, the Bible tells us that the greatest enemy we have in running the Christian race and doing the will of God is the flesh. So Lenten period is a time we need to slow down on our attention to the flesh. We have to fast, subdue the flesh, stay closer to God, make it a moment of solemnness, moment of meditation, thinking about what Jesus passed through to redeem us, and also making us to humble ourselves before him. And where are we not getting it right? Where are we missing it? What do we need to do to really serve God better? So it is important we fast. It's also useful for your health. Everybody that eats 3 times a day for the rest of his life is attracting sickness and collapse of the body system. So, but spiritually, fasting and prayer, they are inevitable for Christian development, Christian growth, and Christian focus.
Meanwhile, the Bishop of the West and Coordinating Bishop of Konam, the Right Reverend Dr. Felix Orji, has called on the Church to be vocal with the truth. According to the cleric, the Church must tell herself the truth. The Church must also tell the world the truth, the unpleasant truth about reality, as God has revealed them in the Bible.
The Church has lost the ability to tell the truth to itself and to the world. And so during this Lent, it is important for us to recover and reclaim this important aspect of calling, which is to be the pillar of truth. As the Bible says, the pillar that preaches the truth and opposes the truth of the gospel. So we need to form that habit once again, and that the practice of the discipline of truth-telling, without fear and without prejudice. The Church must tell herself the truth. The Church must tell the world the truth, the unpleasant truth about reality as God has revealed them in the Bible. What truth? The truth about the fact that if we die without repenting of our sin and turning to Jesus Christ, we'll spend eternity in hell. The truth that says that the wages of sin is death. And of course the truth that there is forgiveness and the gift of eternal life to those who repent and believe.
Ahead of the 2021 Lenten Meditation Program for the Diocese of Abuja tagged Way of the Cross, Venerable Kinsley Yobo, a member of the Central Planning Committee, has said necessary arrangements are being put in place for the program. Speaking with ACNN News correspondent Carolina Sumbe, he explained that adequate preparations for transportation and other aspects of the program is on ground, and went on to give reasons for the change of this year Way of the Cross venue since its inspection in 2014, which has always been at the Cathedral Church of the Advent.
This year we had to change the venue to accommodate the crowd that used to come for the program. And we are going to be using the open field so that the required spacing between persons while seated will be appropriately observed. By the grace of God, we are expecting ministers from all over the country, bishops, clergy, bishop's wife, and other assisting clergymen and lay people from within the diocese. Arrangement is being made such that from all churches in our diocese, there will be free transportation for both members of the church and others who may wish to attend. Any branch of our church you go to, beginning from that Monday through Sunday, you will have free transportation to the venue and back to the church where they pick you from. The program starts 5 p.m. every day, including Sunday. While the program will be running, we also have two other attachments that are beneficial to participants. One is...
He further spoke on the expectations from the program.
During the program, as in other past editions, we have always recorded great testimonies of healing, of breaking of yokes, God delivering people from strange habits, from demonic bondage, family curses, and the rest of them. So this year we are looking forward to God for greater encounter. And on that note, we are inviting the public. Even if you have not been a Christian before, the Lord does not discriminate. That is why Jesus died. We invite everyone to join us as we look up to God within this week of the Way of the Cross. The power of the resurrection shall be available to change the stories of men. As many as will come by faith, they will not go back the same.
On the issue of security, an Anglican cleric who is the subdean diocese on the Niger, Venerable Amara Ezenwodo, has pleaded with the Nigerian leaders to do the right thing with regards to security in the country. He was speaking with our news correspondent at Onitsha in Anambra State, and according to him, if leaders would be honest with themselves and fulfill the vows of leading with integrity and sincerity, then security will not continue to be an issue in the country.
On the issue of security, I want to sincerely advise that we will be, for once, honest with ourselves. If we want to build a nation that is all-inclusive, we need to be very sincere. Favoring one section against the other will not help anybody. It may have worked before, but not now. We are in an enlightened society, and people will have to be treated very fairly. If we have vowed as leaders to lead with integrity and to defend the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I want to encourage our leaders to go ahead and do that. The idea of favoring one group against the other, it will not help in the common good of Nigeria as a country. So I want to sincerely advise, we know the truth, we know what to do. Let's go ahead and do that. Once we do that, which is fair enough, I don't think security will continue to be an issue in the country.
Well, you're still watching the news on the hour, and still to come, Laporta announced his names to join him at Barcelona if he wins election. We'll bring you that story and more after this break. Please stay with us.
It's another time of spiritual awakening. Diocese of Abuja Anglican Communion invites you to our Diocesan Lenten Meditation, tagged The Way of the Cross 2021. Theme, The Power of His Resurrection, Philippians 3:10. Ministering, Most Reverend Dr. Michael Fakpe, Right Reverend Professor Dakbo Asaju, Right Reverend Daniel Olinya, Right Reverend Aloysius Agbo, Right Reverend Sunday Adewale, Right Reverend Prosper Ama, Right Reverend Foreman Nedison, and other ministers of God. Date, Monday 1st to Sunday 7th March 2021. Time, 5 p.m. daily. Venue, Basilica of Grace, AGGS Compound, Gudu, Abuja. Host, His Grace, Most Reverend Henry C. Undukuba, Primate of all Nigeria and Bishop of Abuja Diocese. Come and experience the power of His resurrection.
Timberlock wood preservative surpasses all preventive measures designed to permanently prevent the damage and quality reduction of wood and wood-based materials by termites, fungi, bacteria, and other boring insects. Use Timberlock premium wood preservative to prevent, correct, and defend wood and wood materials against deformities caused by termites and other insects in the later days. Timberlock is designed to solve wood preservation challenges with a standard you can trust. Timberlock wood preservative kills termites instantly. Timberlock wood preservative, the wood preservative brand leader in Africa. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Timberlock Africa or visit www.timberlockmfg.com. Timberlock wood preservative, the wood preservative brand leader in Africa.
You're welcome back and thanks for being there. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or our social media platforms on facebook.com or youtube.com/acnntv. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the VM Africa app from Android and iOS stores, and you can also advertise your goods and services on ACNN TV. Moving on, a renowned diplomat and chair of the 6th Region African Union, Canada and the Americas, who works as policy advisor on diaspora matters at the African Union headquarters, Ambassador Macaulay Onyekachi Kalu, has been awarded Distinguished Nigerian Diaspora Leader of the Year 2020. Now, this comes for his immense contribution to mainstream Africans in the diaspora into the development of the continent through the African Union, 6th Region, Canada and the Americas, and for his initiative to create 1 million jobs for the African youth in 2021 through various empowerment programs. Now, let's get to hear the report. The management of Asset Newspapers Limited, publishers of Daily Asset newspaper, held the 4th edition of its annual awards and lecture with the theme Conflict Management, Peace Building and Development in a Democratic Setting. The grand event, which took place at the Nikon Luxury Hotel, Abuja, drew together eminent Nigerians from all walks of life, like the First Lady of Benue State, Dr. Mrs. Eunice Otom, among others. In his welcome address, the publisher and editor-in-chief of the Daily Asset newspapers, Dr. Cletus Acquire, said the annual award is turned towards celebrating excellence and hard work of individuals, hence the choice of the theme, Conflict Management, Peace Building and Development in a Democratic Setting. Worthy of note amongst the recipients of the award is a renowned diplomat and chair of the 6th Region African Union, Canada and the Americas, who works as policy advisor on diaspora matters at the African Union headquarters, Ambassador Macaulay Onyekachi Kalu, who received an award of Distinguished Nigerian Diaspora Leader of the Year.
Award is His Excellency Ambassador Dr. Macaulay Kalu for distinguishing himself in the diaspora. Congratulations, sir.
Congratulations. That is to show that, there's a lot of things that has happened over the years, and we as diasporans are so eager to see what we can do to contribute to the development and the social economic development of the continent. I also want to remind people for not understanding the impact the diaspora is having into the country. For example, in Nigeria alone, we have over $25 billion remittances that came into Nigeria alone. I would say over the past few years, it's been a concurrent amount, more than that. And these are remittances based on money that you can trace. So there's a lot of ways the diasporans are really contributing to the economy. And so I dedicate this to so many all over the world that are really praying for the continent, contributing in any form or way or possible that they could. And so I'm very excited that the Daily Asset newspaper could recognize and acknowledge the work the diasporans are doing.
Colleagues, friends who came to support him had this to say about him.
Dr. Kalu is a leader, is a mentor, is a brother. He has been an outstanding gentleman. And this has really showed how he has been able to set the pace in terms of changing the narrative He has been the promoter, positioning himself to see how they can rebrand Nigeria and also sell the Nigerian story outside the country. And the message has been going on. The steps he has been taking in terms of trying to see how we can be able to promote local content and also showcase some of our products that we have, showcase some of our talents we have in the country, which has really helped inspire a lot of young people and also encourage us to be able to foster that relationship. So we're very excited. This is a well-deserved award.
I'm here to support Dr. Karu for this beautiful award. I think he's well-deserved. He's been fighting all the years I know him. He's been fighting for the diaspora and for Africans to get education, to get entrepreneurship. So yeah, I'm here to support him. I'm very proud of him.
Other awards presented were the Company of the Year Award, Public Servant of the Year Award, Governor of the Year Award, Politician of the Year Award, among others. In Abuja, Nzubechi Frank reporting for Acnn News. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said a supplementary budget would be presented to the National Assembly for COVID-19 vaccines and vaccination of frontline workers. She said the first batch of COVID-19 vaccines would arrive the country in 1 week. She said this during the maiden edition of weekly special ministerial media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications Team held at the State House, Abuja. The minister said Nigeria would regress if it failed to borrow more to finance critical infrastructure in the country. And on insecurity, Aisha Yusuf, a popular Nigerian activist, has called for a march to the Aso Villa in demand for the resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari. Aisha made the call while reacting to the recent adoption of about 317 schoolgirls from Zamfara Government Secondary School, Jangebe, by suspected armed bandits, recalling that the Zamfara Commissioner of Security and Home Affairs, Alhaji Abubakar Doran, while confirming the adoption, told newsmen that abductors in their hundreds invaded the town and took away the students at about 2 a.m. on Friday morning. According to Aisha, the government has emboldened terrorists to continue kidnapping and has resigned from its responsibilities to protect the lives of Nigerians. She urged Nigerians to put aside their differences and come together to march to the villa in demand for Buhari's resignation. Well, still on that Zamfara adoption, global rights group Amnesty International has also condemned the strings of adoptions of students in schoolgirls in the northern parts of Nigeria. Now, this was after over 300 schoolgirls were adopted from government schools. Jangede in the Talata Mafa local government area of Zamfara states. The adoption which happened in the early year hours of Friday was carried out by suspected bandits who stormed the school in heeless vehicles and motorcycles. The attack happened just days after some students and staff of Government Science College Kagara in Bafik local government area of Niger State were adopted by bandits who are yet to set them free. Also, the United Nations Children Fund expressed concern over the adoption, describing it as a gross violation of children's rights. There is also a reaction from UNICEF country representative in Nigeria, Peter Hawkins, who in a statement condemned the attack. He said UNICEF was working to confirm the exact number of kidnapped students, currently estimated to be more than 300. It will be recalled that on December 11, 2020, over 300 students of Government Science Secondary School Kankara in Katsina State were adopted by bandits who have since released them. Moving on to sports news now, Barcelona presidential candidate Joan Laporta has officially announced the individuals he will work with should he win the elections. Laporta, a former president of the club, along with vice presidential candidate Raphael Yutse, revealed the 2 key additions to their project in a press conference. Former goalkeeper of the club, Victor Valdez, was one of the names the sports chiefs have chosen to work with. He's currently working as the coach of the youth team, but will now have time to return to the club if Laporta is elected. The elections are scheduled for the 7th of March, and according to reports, Laporta is favorite to win. Well, viewers, you're still watching the news on the hour. Now let's take you to a recap of our major stories. Bishop of the Western Coordinating Bishop of Kona, the Right Reverend Dr. Felix Orji, calls on the church to be vocal with the truth, just as Christ has revealed them in the Bible. A member of the Central Planning Committee for Diocese of Abuja 2021 Way of the Cross, Venerable Kingsley Obo, speaks on their expectations and preparations. Ambassador Macaulay Onyekachi Kalu, a renowned diplomat, receives award of Distinguished Nigerian Diaspora Leader of the Year 2020. Aisha Yusuf, a popular Nigerian activist, calls for a march to Aso Villa in demand for the resignation of President Muhammadu Buhari as suspected armed bandits adopt about 317 schoolgirls from Zamfara Government Secondary School on Friday morning. Viewers, that is where we'll draw the curtain for this edition of the News on the Hour. Always remember, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. The ability to triumph begins with you, always. Thank you for watching. I am Nzubechi Frank, and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.
Beaming from the nation's capital, we bring to you the good news through various programming, news updates, worship and teachings.
The paralysis of sin makes us to be separated from God.
Contact us for your live streaming solutions and event coverage, such as synods, conferences, seminars, revivals and lots more. Engage us in showcasing your brands and services to the world through adverts and sponsorship. We also offer latest broadcast equipment for rent, all at affordable prices. Tune in to Acnn TV via any free-to-air decoder with the following installation parameters: Intelsat 20 satellite with tuning frequency 12562 MHz, symbol rate 30 Mbps, orbital position 68.5 degrees.